Yeah, let's talk about the trucker thing though, because this is something that's big, and I haven't talked about it much on my show because I was kind of ignoring it because I knew it was going to be a thing, but it's like, do I really want to talk about this? Like, it's just another example of right wingers being obnoxious. But now it's gotten to the point where it's like it's beyond it's beyond obnoxious. And so like, yeah, what is your take from the top on the trucker convoy? And what, there's a lot of people on the left, wink, that want to support it. But like, how do you feel about that whole thing?
I mean, this is a right-wing... look, okay, so let me just start with this. The organizers of this are not actual truckers. They're members of right-wing organizations that have put this together and now are trying to shill crypto. I mean, this is what they're in. Okay, this is what they're doing. That's who they are. They do not represent the majority of Canadian truckers. The older truckers' unions...
Yeah, like the main organizer is like a neo-Nazi. Like he went to like Nazi rallies. Yeah. Is that right?
Yeah. But he was a counter-protester, if we're talking about Pat King, counter-protester at an anti-racism rally. Well, right. Gee, if you're counter-protesting an anti-racism rally, what does that make you? It makes you a racist. That's what that makes you. And so, and you have other people that have little ties to neo-Nazi groups. I think it was like the something of Odin or Hammers of I don't know.
They have one of these such cringy names like that. I know. That's one thing about Nazis that always they always have this like the Third Reich, like they're this great continuation of Western. Like there's no Odin. Like what are you playing, Final Fantasy, motherfucker? Like come on, like it's so ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, hey, if you defeat him, you might get some good drops, maybe.
That's true.
I don't know. But the whole thing is, again, just right-wing, reactionary, not even... They say that their main purpose is like, oh, we got to defeat the mandates, right? What they actually want to do is, yes, they don't want the mandates, but that's a secondary goal. They want to dissolve the Canadian government and jail Justin Trudeau. That's really what it's about. And to, of course, expel Indigenous people because they claim themselves to be Indigenous. By the way, we're Indigenous. We were born in Canada, and so we're Indigenous. That's not how it works, buddy.
That's fact.
Yes, you're a naturalized citizen, but you're not an Indigenous person. And by the way, going as to how the Trudeau government and the Canadian government has treated actual Indigenous people versus how they treated the convoy. I mean, the police handled the convoy with kids' gloves, but once again went after peaceful Indigenous protesters with an iron fist.
Yeah, there's videos of Ottawa police like high-fiving these people and bringing them bwater and stuff. It's and people think American police are the problem, but it needs to be very understood that it's globally just the idea to be a police officer. Maybe there's someone who might think that, oh, I'm going to be a cop and they might be a good person. They might want to do something, right? But let's be honest, right? They're not going to actually, that's their goal, maybe, 2% of the time, if you're lucky. But is that actually done? Are they actually going to help people? Probably not, right? And that's the thing, but it's mostly just a way for these right wingers to just have to feel good about being the high school bully, right? And this trucker convoy thing, and I want to focus on these weirdo left wing they tell us they're left wing, but where's the money come from? These people online that there's been I don't know, we could talk about this a lot, but it all started with this force the vote bullshit. Then all those people became anti-vaccine Looney Tunes crazy motherfuckers, and now they're doing this pro trucker convoy because what if this happened to the left or something? It's just it
already has. It already has happened to the left.
It really is. I really genuinely think, and one of the big things about this again is the American billionaires funding the trucker convoy. American billionaires are interested in using this as a story to distract from other things and to maybe, it fucks up the supply chain even more, can help inflation. They can scrape back their money on that. And this is just a project for the right to make money off of. And that's why you see a lot of these left-wing podcasters talking about this in such a positive way because they're making money. They're falling for the game. They're their own little capitalists in their own little world, and they're like, oh, well, I can make money if I pretend that I'm a left-winger who likes the trucker convoy, and then like you see like the Jimmy Dores of the world getting thousands and thousands of views off of this shit, and it's just it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. And to me, like, I don't know, like you can be somewhat critical of the emergency powers invocation and how that's being used.
Which I am.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
like, I think it's a little weird that they're targeting, like, accounts that donated $25. That's my big thing.
Right.
Like, I would just,
that
like,
sucks,
I would rather just, like, target the people's accounts. You know, I would rather target the companies involved. I would rather target the organizations, right? That kind of stuff is my main thing, you know, because there's a lot of people, again, also that are just swayed by disinformation. And that's another problem, is that we live in this society where people are born and bred to be dumb, and they don't know how to read the media. So they're thinking, you know, like, oh, well, freedom's under attack. I like freedom, so let me donate to this GoFundMe, right? And if they get their bank account frozen, that's no good. We need to find ways to combat disinformation as well, because that's what the right has been thriving on. Like this idea that there's mandates that are crushing the economy, and so the answer to that is to crush the economy. I don't know. It's strange. It's strange to me.
It is very strange, and that's an excellent point. But like, you know, let's go back to the police, right? For a second here, and the police have been very, very much on the side of these protesters, and so you've seen a very, very soft hand. And so here's the thing, right? You have the situation where I guess Trudeau believes that he needed to do the Emergency Powers Act, but in reality, you don't need emergency powers. You need the police to do their job. Supposedly do their job.
Yeah.
And yeah, if these cops aren't doing their job, they need to be removed. They need to be fired. You don't need to give Trudeau additional powers to do these things because, I mean, again, it has and will be used against the left. So, you know, and so that's the good argument against the emergency powers, and also against the police, and also against the truckers, who are once again right-wing reactionaries.
Too, is that like this Emergency Powers Act? I found out about it because like it went on Twitter. It was trending like hashtag Canada has fallen. Like everyone's freaking the fuck out, and it's like it helps the right-wing disinformation thing. Yep. I agree. Like we don't need the emergency powers thing. All we need to do is have the cops do their fucking jobs. Like does Canada have federal police? Like why? I've seen Canada abuse the shit out of Black Lives Matter protesters. I've seen them use water cannons on indigenous protesters in like sub-zero temperatures. Right? You can't do that on these protesters. Now again, you know, it's ludicrous. Like people love to pretend. Like, and the right will love to, oh, it's liberty, it's freedom, but there's no liberty, there's no freedom, motherfucker. There's like, it's just, and like you see a lot of these trucker companies, like the actual companies are like, we're not doing it. The unions are like, we're we're stepping away from this. We don't agree with this. All the unions, all the trucker companies, they're all like, we don't want anything to do with this. It's like, it's organized by neo-Nazis. And then you still see these people online. Like I get commenters on my videos like, oh, you're an authoritarian. I thought you were an anarchist. It's like I'm being wanting people to get vaccinated against a deadly virus makes me an authoritarian. Okay, sure. Like it's just like all these like people, like we're in this world where people are like no one can have like an actual conversation with someone else. Like there's all these like these buzzwords and these like litmus tests that don't make any sense and that like you know people forget about from major story to major story. It's just I don't know. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and I think some of that, you know, definitely is on purpose to keep people divided against what's really going on. I mean, essentially right-wing corporate rule. That's what we live under. A little bit less so in Canada, but certainly here in the United States, we have corporations, we have donors, and we have politicians that are only out to try to get as much money as possible from the people, and to, you know, if they gotta crush actual people's liberty, which is not what's happening with the trucker protest, they're gonna do it. They're gonna find a way to do it, and that's what they're doing. And so I'm always wary about giving, you know, a president or a prime minister any more kind of executive power to do these things because we usually know how it's going to end up. And so, I'm very wary of that. And once again, you have the right wing that is shepherding us down this hole. And it's not a good place to be.
It's really bad. Yeah, it's no good.
That's the theme of the show today.
Yeah,
real bad. Not good.
Everything is bad. The show is bad. Also, this is a horrible show. I hope you're entertained.